let's run through some of the features that I can recall off the top of my head of the Honey Bear Honeypot. And I guess first off, we'll start with what the hell is the Honey Bear Honeypot? The Honey Bear Honeypot is a functional SSH honeypot, meaning it's out there on the web. Hopefully hackers connect to it in a safe environment, and they can try to do something until they figure out that it's not real. You can monitor them. You can collect stats. You can kind of get a sense of what hackers are doing out there, how they are crawling and scraping, and what kind of malware they're trying to install on defenseless computers. The Honey Bear Honeypot debuted last year, 2025. It debuted on a hard hat. Actually, the Honey Bear Honeypot hard hat debuted at Layer 1 conference, and then it showed up again at DEF CON. Super fun. We'll put some graphics here on the page for you all. And yes, kind of a bit, right? But it's real. It was really on the internet, on my head. And what I've been working on since is adding to it and making it into, hopefully, a project that people can use in non-hard hat situations, right? Running it on Linux, running it on a Mac, running it on Windows, and connecting and having a safe place to either maybe teach about security or just, monitor yourself, pull some stats, or maybe you can just have some fun, have something that some people can connect to and play around with it and experiment and all these kind of things. Just kind of a fun project, right? That I hope is real. That's kind of the last bit, is that if this thing becomes real and people really use this, how amazing would that be? From hard hat to serious security tool would be super, super, super amazing. So, like I said, I've been adding a lot of features to try to get to that goal. And I wanted to somewhat quickly, show you around the system. So first off, like I said, you can install it on anything. You can install it on the GitHub page or on the website, which is honeybear.hydrox.fun. You can see how to install it, but I'm on a Mac here. I installed it via Homebrew, so couldn't be easier with a couple of commands. And now I have it here on my Mac. There's a bunch of config settings, so we'll kind of touch on a few of them. You can also configure this with a config file. So if you're setting it up on a server or something, you don't have to type in all this craziness. And in fact, that's what we're going to do. So let's do Honeybear, let's do config, and let's boot it up here with the config file that I have. And then you'll see it immediately show up here. This is the interface, the friendly interface of the Honeybear Honeypot. And we'll touch on the interface in a little bit, but just as a brief aside, you can see it's a Honeybear, it pops around. You can boop his nose, and this is the fun GUI that you can see here. And then you've got a little output here if you so choose on the server side. But let's start off by connecting to it. So I'm going to connect to it this way. It'll take any username, any password to configure. So you can literally type anything. And when I do, you'll see it connect. You'll see a log messes up here. The bear starts to get go crazy. It gets crazy. The bear goes crazy when all these voices are in its head, which is a kind of fun aside. But yeah, so you'll see everything run through here. You'll see that I'm now on the bear. There's a user there. The all time went up. And then as far as the attacker knows, it's trying to simulate the best it can a shell environment. It's not a shell environment. It's completely simulated in the Go application. So there's no way to make some command that somehow runs on the bash, on the shell itself. It is completely simulated within the Go app. And you can see it doing some fun things. I haven't typed it in a while, so it's trying to get me to type. But you can do, ls is there. You can change the directory structure. You can, look around a little bit. You can go back home. Oop, I should fix that one. You can go back to home. And yeah, so you could go home, I think is a directory. Yep, there we go. You can cat this file. Let's see, what else can you do on this? You can, PWD works. You can echo things. You can echo environment variables. You can set environment variables. Foo, not bar. There you go. A lot of basic commands work on this. So you can do things like netstat. You can do uname.a. You can do, who am I? I don't know. ID is in here. W is in here. So there's a ton of commands that you can run that all try to make it as believable as possible. There obviously are some jokes in here. You can see Linux hard hat, things like that. But it is trying to be as real as possible so we can kind of get a sense of what they're doing. To that extent, we also added a bunch of features that are kind of specifically for making it believable. For instance, escaped characters or correctly. It's a common thing that hackers will run. And so that operates as you would expect. There are also, by default, some kind of fun commands if you're not trying to be super believable, but you just want to have a good time. Like, say, add DEF CON, and it's running on your head. You can do celebrate command, which gives you this fun confetti. You can do, let's see what else is matrix. Let's do matrix. You can do matrix, and it gives you a fun matrix crawl that goes down the screen. You can configure a capture the flag game, a CTF, on here as well, if you so choose. And you can have people sign up and join and play configurable challenges. All is possible. And you can also turn all that off if you want to be as believable as possible. The way you can do that is if we quit out of this and then go back over here, you can run, for instance, the whole server on no GUI, and it will run headless without the bear. You can run it with no fun, and it will run the bear here still. And if you SSH into it and try to run something silly like matrix, it's not there. So if you want to make it believable, you can do that. The fun stuff is on by default because why shouldn't it be on by default? But if you want to turn it off to improve your believability, the option is there to do that really easily. Okay, enough about the SSH. I think you've got a sense of that. On the GUI side here, you've probably seen the messages scroll down the screen. That's fun. Like I said, you can see the all-time users here. The all-time users here, the current users there. You can see this right here. This shows you if you are live on the internet via the built-in SSH tunneling features. So you can run it here locally and then tunnel through to a server that's exposed to the internet. So you can run it locally, you can get the messages, but your computer, a local computer, doesn't have to be exposed. So that is all built in and configurable. If you have a VPS or something, you can set that up with. And that is just showing you that you were alive at that point. You can also go to this menu here, which is kind of the admin menu, for lack of a better term. You can see stats. So right here, 30-day users, 30-day commands. So just kind of a simple graph there. You can see top commands, top frequently used commands. You can see the top users all time. This is all local data, so this isn't really that interesting. You can see recent commands. So you can see all the things that I just ran while we did that demo. A few other settings. SSH, you can limit the number of max users. This is all rate limiting settings, so you can set the rate limit and the max connections and the band time. And so if I wanted to say dial that down, we can do 300 seconds and save that, and now you've got that. App is just basic things. You can toggle full screen. You can change the pin if you wanted to lock this touchscreen interface or GUI interface into a pin. You can do that. And then lastly over here, which I want to point out, is the export feature for data. So I showed this a couple minutes ago. You can kind of get these basic stats here, but it wouldn't be much of a real honeypot if you couldn't analyze the data. So we have a full export feature. You can check what you want to export or not, and then you can export it, and this could do a full backup of the data, or you can export it into a certain format, and then you can do whatever analysis you want. We don't want to presume too much and build in too many features. For instance, I have the version running on my hard hat up here. I can move my camera. There it is up there on the wall. The Honeypot hard hat itself is running. It's been running for 7 months, maybe now, pretty much every day straight. So it's got a lot of interesting data, and I dumped that out and then ran it through Claude Code, actually, which made me this cool dashboard. So that's just one way to analyze it. Other people have other things and existing tools, but I thought this was pretty interesting. And you can see, the common commands, and you can see some malware downloads that have tried to happen and all this kind of stuff. So, this is actually almost a year, but it's mostly in the last 7 months, running in my home on a hard hat, collecting data, tunneled through to a server I control. So pretty interesting, pretty fun data to kind of go through that. Man, what else is there? That's kind of it, I guess. There's documentation on the GitHub. I would love to hear feedback. I'd love to hear ideas. I'd love to hear anything, really. I just want to kind of put this out there and see if there's something interesting. I think it's really interesting. I think it's a fun, approachable way to put something out there and just kind of, it's like one of those bird houses that you put against your window, but for hackers, right? Put it out there in a fun, approachable way and see what people are doing, get a sense of what all these hackers are doing as they try to connect to your server, and it's easy to set up. It's relatively safe, and you can turn it on and off and view it in real time. I think it's kind of interesting, and I would love notes. I would love PRs. I would love any comments you want to share. So that's why I wanted to do this demo, is just get it out there. Again, it would be really, really cool to see something that was a hard hat project for DEF CON be a tool that people use and get value out of in real life. That'd be awesome. So I hope you think that's cool. And please reach out. We'll put links in the description below, but the website is honeybear.hydrox.fun. There's a GitHub page. Reach out to me, and enjoy it. Please download. Take a look.